Mike Tyson, this name is already well known around in the world of boxing. The man who reached the status of a legend like his idol Muhammad Ali did. But who really is Mike Tyson? Is he just another strong boxer? Or just like Ali made history by fighting for a just cause? We will answer those questions in this video. Mike Tyson, born Michael Gerard Tyson on June 30th, 1966, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York City, had a childhood that was as turbulent and challenging as it was formative for the man who would become one of the most feared boxers in history. Tyson's early years were marked by a series of hardships that shaped his personality and future career. Tyson was the youngest of 3 children born to Lorna Mae Smith Tyson. His biological father, Purcell Tyson, was absent from his life, and Tyson's mother later became involved with a man named Jimmy Kirkpatrick, who served as a father figure to Mike but was largely absent due to his own personal struggles. Tyson's mother, Lorna, was left to raise her children in a neighborhood rife with crime, poverty, and violence. Brownsville, where Tyson grew up, was one of the most notorious neighborhoods in Brooklyn. It was an environment where survival often meant engaging in criminal activities. From a very young age, Tyson was exposed to street violence, drugs, and crime. His family was impoverished, and the instability at home mirrored the chaos of the streets. Tyson was a shy, introverted child who suffered from low self-esteem. He was often picked on by other children, both because of his high-pitched voice and his lisp, which made him an easy target. As a result, he developed a deep-seated rage and a fierce need to protect himself from the world around him. This anger would later become a powerful force in the boxing ring, but during his childhood, it often manifested in aggressive and violent behavior. By the age of 10, Tyson had already been involved in numerous street fights and petty crimes. He was frequently in trouble with the law, and by the time he was 13, he had been arrested multiple times. Tyson's criminal behavior led him to spend time in various juvenile detention centers. It was during one of these stays at the Tryon School for Boys in upstate New York that Tyson's life began to take a significant turn. At the Tryon School, Tyson met counselor Bobby Stewart, a former boxer who saw potential in the troubled teenager. Stewart introduced Tyson to boxing as a way to channel his aggression and frustration. Recognizing his raw talent, Stewart began training Tyson and was amazed at the young boy's natural ability and ferocity in the ring. Stewart eventually introduced Tyson to Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer who had coached world champions like Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. D'Amato saw in Tyson not just a future champion, but a young man who needed guidance, discipline, and structure. D'Amato took Tyson under his wing, providing him with a stable home environment and acting as a father figure, something Tyson had lacked his entire life. Under D'Amato's mentorship, Tyson began to flourish. He found in boxing a purpose and a way to channel his anger. D'Amato also introduced Tyson to the mental aspects of boxing, teaching him the importance of focus, discipline, and the psychological aspects of the sport. Despite his troubled childhood, Tyson's time with D'Amato marked the beginning of a transformation. The discipline and structure provided by boxing helped Tyson to start overcoming the chaos of his early life. However, the scars of his childhood would remain with him, influencing his behavior both inside and outside the ring for years to come. Tyson's early life was a crucible in which his fierce fighting spirit was forged. The anger, pain, and struggle of his childhood became the fuel for his future success in the ring. By the time he began his professional boxing career, Tyson had already survived more than most people do in a lifetime. His journey from the streets of Brownsville to the pinnacle of boxing was just beginning, but it was his childhood that laid the foundation for the ferocity and determination that would come to define him as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Mike Tyson's journey into boxing began when he was just a troubled teenager, and it quickly became evident that he was destined for greatness in the ring. After his discovery by Bobby Stewart at the Tryon School for Boys, Tyson's life took a dramatic turn as he was introduced to Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer who would play a pivotal role in shaping Tyson's career. Cus D'Amato recognized Tyson's raw talent immediately. He saw in the young boxer a rare combination of power, speed, and an unyielding will to dominate. D'Amato took Tyson into his home in Catskill, New York, and provided him with a stable environment, something Tyson had never experienced before. Under D'Amato's strict guidance, Tyson's days were regimented, with a focus on training, discipline, and education. D'Amato's training methods were intense and focused not only on physical conditioning, but also on the psychological aspects of boxing. He believed in the power of mental toughness and instilled in Tyson the importance of focus, discipline, and confidence. D'Amato introduced Tyson to the peekaboo style of boxing, a technique characterized by a high guard and quick head movements that made it difficult for opponents to land punches. This style, combined with Tyson's natural ability and fierce determination, made him a formidable opponent in the ring. D'Amato also worked to build Tyson's self-esteem, countering the deep-seated insecurities that had plagued him since childhood. He taught Tyson to harness his anger and use it as a weapon in the ring, turning his childhood pain into a powerful motivator. D'Amato often spoke to Tyson about becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a goal that became a driving force for Tyson. Under D'Amato's tutelage, Tyson quickly rose through the ranks of amateur boxing. He began competing in junior tournaments and quickly built a reputation as a fearsome puncher. By the age of 15, Tyson was defeating opponents much older and more experienced than himself. He won gold medals at the 1981 and 1982 Junior Olympic Games, where he set a record by knocking out his opponent in just 8 seconds. Tyson's amateur career was marked by a series of impressive victories, but it was also a time of intense learning. D'Amato, along with trainers Teddy Atlas and later Kevin Rooney, worked tirelessly to refine Tyson's technique and improve his conditioning. Tyson's training was grueling, but it was during this period that he developed the skills and the mindset that would later make him a dominant force in professional boxing. In 1985, at the age of 18, Tyson turned professional. His debut fight took place on March 6, 1985, against Hector Mercedes. Tyson won the fight by a first-round knockout, showcasing the power and aggression that would become his trademark. This fight marked the beginning of an extraordinary career that would see Tyson rise to the top of the boxing world at a record pace. Tyson's early professional fights were characterized by a series of quick knockouts, often in the first round. His relentless style and ability to deliver devastating punches made him a crowd favorite and a media sensation. He quickly became known as Iron Mike, a nod to his physical strength and unbreakable will in the ring. With D'Amato's guidance, Tyson remained focused on his goal of becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Tragically, D'Amato passed away in November 1985, just as Tyson's career was beginning to take off. D'Amato's death was a profound loss for Tyson, but the lessons and discipline instilled in him by his mentor continued to drive him forward. Following D'Amato's death, Tyson's training was taken over by Kevin Rooney, who continued to hone the techniques and strategies that D'Amato had taught. Tyson's rise through the heavyweight ranks was meteoric. In 1986, just 1 year after turning professional, Tyson earned his shot at the WBC heavyweight title. On November 22, 1986, at the age of 20, Tyson faced Trevor Berbick for the title. Tyson won the fight by a second-round knockout, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands. Tyson's victory over Berbick was the culmination of years of hard work, discipline, and the guidance of a team that believed in his potential. It marked the beginning of a reign that would see Tyson unify the heavyweight division and become one of the most iconic figures in the sport. Tyson's early career was defined by his ferocity in the ring, his dedication to his craft, and the mentorship of Cus D'Amato. These elements combined to create a boxer who, at his peak, was virtually unstoppable and whose influence on the sport of boxing would be felt for generations. Tyson's dominance in the ring was unmatched during the late 1980s. His ferocious style, combined with his quickness and precision, made him a nearly invincible force. He successfully defended his titles against formidable opponents, including Larry Holmes, who was making a comeback, and Michael Spinks, who was undefeated before facing Tyson. Tyson's victory over Spinks in 1988, a first-round knockout in just 91 seconds, cemented his status as the most feared boxer on the planet. Despite his success, Tyson's life outside the ring was becoming increasingly chaotic. The death of Cus D'Amato in 1985 had left a void in Tyson's life that he struggled to fill. D'Amato had been more than a trainer. He was a father figure who provided stability and guidance. Without D'Amato's influence, Tyson became more susceptible to the pressures of fame, money, and the people around him who did not always have his best interests at heart. As Tyson's fame grew, so did the turbulence in his personal life. His marriage to actress Robin Givens in 1988 was highly publicized, and their relationship became a source of controversy. Givens later accused Tyson of domestic violence, and their tumultuous marriage ended in divorce in 1989. Tyson's personal life became tabloid fodder, with stories of his reckless behavior, financial problems, and legal troubles dominating the headlines. In 1988, Tyson parted ways with longtime trainer Kevin Rooney, who had continued to train him after D'Amato's death. This decision marked a turning point in Tyson's career. Without Rooney's disciplined training, Tyson's skills began to decline. He became less focused and more prone to mistakes both in and out of the ring. The first significant crack in Tyson's invincible image came on February 11, 1990, when he faced James "Buster" Douglas in Tokyo. Tyson entered the fight as the overwhelming favorite, but he was unprepared and undertrained. Douglas, who had recently lost his mother and was fighting with a sense of purpose, shocked the world by knocking Tyson out in the 10th round. The loss was one of the biggest upsets in boxing history and marked the beginning of Tyson's fall from the top. After the loss to Douglas, Tyson's life continued to spiral out of control. In 1991, he was accused of raping 18-year-old Desiree Washington, a Miss Black America contestant. Tyson was convicted of the crime in 1992 and sentenced to 6 years in prison. His incarceration put his boxing career on hold and further tarnished his reputation. During his time in prison, Tyson converted to Islam and took the Muslim name Malik Abdulaziz. He was released on parole after serving 3 years, but his time behind bars had a profound effect on him. The world had changed during his absence, and Tyson struggled to regain his former dominance in the ring. Upon his release from prison in 1995, Tyson attempted to revive his boxing career. He regained the WBC and WBA heavyweight titles in 1996 by defeating Frank Bruno and Bruce Seldon, respectively. However, his skills had diminished, and he was no longer the unstoppable force he once was. Tyson's comeback was marked by controversy, including the infamous 1997 fight against Evander Holyfield, in which Tyson bit off a piece of Holyfield's ear, resulting in his disqualification and a significant suspension from boxing. Tyson's later career was characterized by erratic performances and legal issues. He continued to fight, but his motivation seemed to wane, and his financial problems worsened. In 2002, Tyson faced Lennox Lewis in a highly anticipated bout for the heavyweight championship. Tyson was thoroughly outclassed and knocked out in the 8th round. This fight marked the end of Tyson's status as a serious contender. Tyson's final fights were a sad reflection of his former self. He lost to Danny Williams in 2004 and Kevin McBride in 2005, both by knockout. After the McBride fight, Tyson announced his retirement from boxing, stating that he no longer had the desire to fight. Following his retirement, Tyson faced significant challenges, including bankruptcy and ongoing legal issues. However, in the years since, he has sought to rebuild his life. Tyson has become a more reflective and introspective figure, often speaking candidly about his past mistakes, struggles with mental health, and efforts to find peace. Tyson's legacy in boxing is complex. He is remembered as one of the most ferocious and exciting heavyweights in history, a fighter whose prime was as dominant as anyone who has ever stepped into the ring. Yet, his career is also a cautionary tale of the dangers of fame, the influence of those around you, and the consequences of personal demons. Despite his fall, Tyson remains an iconic figure in popular culture. His story is one of redemption as much as it is of rise and fall, with Tyson embracing a new chapter in his life, marked by self-awareness and a desire to move beyond the chaos of his past. After retiring from boxing, Mike Tyson embarked on a journey of self-discovery, redemption, and reinvention. His post-boxing life has been marked by a series of personal and professional transformations as he sought to rebuild his life after the tumultuous years in the ring. In the years immediately following his retirement, Tyson faced significant financial challenges. Despite earning over $300 million during his boxing career, Tyson was forced to declare bankruptcy in 2003, citing debts of $23 million. His lavish lifestyle, combined with legal issues, poor financial management, and the costs of maintaining an entourage, had left him in financial ruin. The bankruptcy was a low point in Tyson's life, forcing him to confront the reality of his situation. It also marked the beginning of his efforts to regain control over his life, finances, and personal well-being. Tyson's life after boxing was not without its challenges. He continued to face legal issues, including arrest for drug possession and driving under the influence. His personal life was also tumultuous, with struggles related to substance abuse and mental health. Tyson has been open about his battles with addiction, depression, and the lingering effects of the traumatic experiences he endured throughout his life. In 2009, Tyson suffered a devastating personal loss when his 4-year-old daughter, Exodus, tragically died in a household accident. The loss deeply affected Tyson, pushing him to reevaluate his life and priorities. In the years following his daughter's death, Tyson began a process of reinvention. He sought to distance himself from the negative aspects of his past and started to embrace a more reflective and introspective approach to life. Tyson's honesty about his struggles resonated with many, helping to shift public perception of him from a fearsome boxer to a figure of resilience and redemption. Tyson's reinvention included exploring new ventures in entertainment. He appeared in several films, most notably in the 2009 hit comedy The Hangover, where he played a humorous, self-deprecating version of himself. His appearance in the film introduced Tyson to a new generation of fans and showcased his ability to laugh at himself and his past. In 2012, Tyson took to the stage with his one-man show, Mike Tyson, Undisputed Truth, directed by Spike Lee. The show was a candid, often raw, account of Tyson's life, where he shared stories from his childhood, career, and personal struggles. The success of the show, which later aired on HBO, marked a turning point in Tyson's public image, as audiences began to see him as a more complex and human figure. As part of his transformation, Tyson also focused on improving his physical and mental health. He became an advocate for healthy living and adopted a vegan diet in 2010, which he credited with helping him lose weight and regain energy. Tyson has spoken openly about the benefits of his lifestyle changes, including his efforts to stay sober and maintain mental wellness. Tyson also turned to spirituality, exploring different practices and philosophies in his quest for peace and understanding. His spiritual journey has been a key part of his efforts to overcome the anger and pain that defined much of his earlier life. In recent years, Tyson has ventured into the business world, most notably in the cannabis industry. In 2018, He launched Tyson Ranch, a cannabis company that produces a variety of products, including marijuana strains, edibles, and CBD wellness products. Tyson has been a vocal advocate for the medicinal benefits of cannabis, particularly in managing pain and mental health issues. Tyson Ranch has grown into a successful business, further contributing to Tyson's financial recovery. The venture has also allowed Tyson to focus on his passion for helping others, as the company emphasizes education and community outreach in the cannabis space. Tyson has continued to engage with the public through his popular podcast, Hotboxing with Mike Tyson, where he interviews celebrities, athletes, and other notable figures. The podcast has been praised for its candid conversations, with Tyson often sharing insights from his own life experiences. The show has further solidified Tyson's status as a cultural icon, with fans appreciating his honesty and willingness to discuss difficult topics. Today, Mike Tyson is widely recognized as a figure who has undergone one of the most remarkable personal transformations in the public eye. From a feared boxer and troubled individual, Tyson has emerged as a symbol of resilience and redemption. He has embraced his role as a storyteller, mentor, and advocate for mental health and wellness. Tyson's legacy in boxing remains secure as one of the most dominant heavyweights in history, but his post-boxing life has added new dimensions to his story. He has shown that it is possible to overcome the darkest of times and find a path to peace and purpose. Tyson's journey is a testament to the power of self-reflection, the importance of personal growth, and the enduring possibility of redemption, no matter the odds.